remember the songs everyone swore they'd never forget, but somehow did? Not the biggest hits, not the legends, but those one songs that once filled every radio, every dance floor, every quiet drive home.
The guests included Wolfman, Dracula, and his son.
Here's the truth most people don't admit. Some of these weren't supposed to last, and yet they never really left. In fact, a few on this list still spark arguments today. Were they underrated classics or just lucky moments in time? Let's go back to 1962 and see how many of these you actually remember.
Sweet little Sheila, you Lord, to see her, blue eyes and a grace.
Number 15, Sheila, Tommy Roe.
Never knew a girl like the little Sheila, her very name drives me.
You've heard this song before, but here's the strange part. Most people don't actually remember where. Sheila wasn't just another catchy tune from 1962. It was everywhere. Car radios, diners, late-night drives, and yet somehow it faded into the background of memory. Some fans even argue it was too simple to last, but maybe that's exactly why it did.
Sheila whispers in my ear, I'm telling you, girl, I love you, Sheila, dear.
There's something almost hypnotic about that rhythm, something that sneaks up on you years later. You might not recall the charts, the headlines, or even the artist, but the feeling? That never left. And here's the truth nobody talks about. Songs like this weren't meant to be analyzed. They were meant to be lived. And maybe, just maybe, a part of you still is.
Just being right together, hey, this little girl is fine.
Number 14, the Wah-Watusi, the Orlons.
Baby, baby, when you do that, never do you get yourself.
Now here's a song that divided people, even back then. The Wah-Watusi wasn't just a hit, it was a moment, a dance, a trend, a cultural flashpoint. Some loved it, others thought it was just another passing fad. But here's what most people forget. This song filled rooms. Teenagers packed dance floors, trying to keep up with a rhythm that felt brand new at the time. And maybe that's why it didn't last in the spotlight. It was tied to a moment you had to be there for. But if you were, you remember. The laughter, the awkward steps, the feeling of being young and slightly out of sync. Because songs like this don't age the same way. They freeze time. And once you hear it again, you're right back there.
Wah-Watusi is the dance to do.
Johnny, I said we were through, just to see what.
Number 13, Johnny Get Angry, Joanie Sommers.
Johnny get angry, Johnny get mad. Boom, 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 boom. Give me the biggest lecture.
This one surprised a lot of people, and honestly, it still does. Johnny Get Angry flipped expectations in a way that felt almost rebellious for its time. A sweet voice asking for something bold, even aggressive? Not everyone knew what to make of it. Some critics dismissed it, others couldn't stop talking about it.
I want a brave man, I want a caveman. Johnny, show me that you care.
But here's what matters. People remembered it. Not just the melody, but the attitude. It captured a moment when things were starting to shift, even if no one fully realized it yet. And maybe that's why it didn't turn into a long career. It was ahead of its time. But listen closely now, and you'll hear more than a novelty. You'll hear a spark, the kind that doesn't fade, just waits to be noticed again.
I want a caveman. Johnny, show me that you care. For me.
I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld.
Number 12, Monster Mash, Bobby Boris Pickett.
To my surprise, he did the Monster Mash.
At first, people thought this song was a joke, and maybe that's why it lasted. Monster Mash wasn't supposed to become a classic. It was playful, theatrical, a little ridiculous. But here's the twist. It outlived almost everything else from that era. Every year it comes back. Every year people remember. So was it really just a novelty?
From my laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom never back.
Or was it smarter than anyone realized? Because underneath the humor, there's something timeless. Fun without apology. Back then, it gave people permission to laugh, to be silly, to escape for a few minutes. And today, it still does. That's not an accident. That's something rare. Because most hits fade, but this one keeps knocking on the door year after year.
The guests included Wolfman, Dracula, and his son.
Number 11, Duke of Earl, Gene Chandler. There's something about this song that feels bigger than it should be. Duke of Earl is simple, almost too simple, and yet it commands attention from the very first note. That deep, echoing intro. You either remember it instantly, or you feel like you should. Some say it was just a product of its time.
Nothing can stop me now, 'cause I'm the Duke of Earl.
Others argue it defined the sound of an era. But here's what's undeniable. It sticks with you. Not because it's complex, but because it's confident. It knew exactly what it was, and it never tried to be anything else. And maybe that's why it never truly disappeared. Because in a world full of noise, sometimes the simplest voice is the one that echoes the longest. Number 10, Hey, Baby, Bruce Chanel.
When I saw you walking down the street, I said that's the kind of gal I like to meet.
This song feels like a memory you didn't realize you still had. Hey Baby was bright, simple, and everywhere for a moment. And then, just as quickly, it slipped away. Some critics say it was too lightweight to last. But that's not the whole story. Because if you were there, you remember the energy, the way it made ordinary days feel just a little bit lighter.
That's when I won't say, come on, baby, give me your word.
It wasn't trying to be profound. It didn't need to be. It was the kind of song that played while life was happening, not while people were analyzing it. And maybe that's why it stayed hidden in your memory instead of on playlists. But hear it now, even for a second, and suddenly it all comes back.
I wanna know if you'll be my girl. Wop, 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 ba-da-da-da, wop, 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 ba-da-da-da, wop.
Number 9, Shout, Shout, Knock Yourself Out, Ernie Maresca.
Hey, we're having a party now, it's just begun. We're all over here and having fun.
Not every hit was meant to be polished, and this one proves it. Shout, Shout had a raw, almost chaotic energy that didn't fit neatly into anything. Some loved that. Others thought it was too loud, too messy, too much. But here's the thing. It felt real. It sounded like the room you were in, not a perfect studio recording.
Hey, play another song like a runaround Sue. Whoa, let's do a dance that we all can do.
And maybe that's why it didn't stay at the top for long. It wasn't built to last forever. It was built for a moment, a loud, unforgettable moment. And if you ever heard it blasting from a jukebox or a crowded room, you know exactly what that felt like. Because some songs don't age gracefully. They stay exactly as wild as the day you first heard them.
Shout, shout, knock yourself out, come on, shout, shout, loud and swell, you gotta scream.
Everybody's doing my brand new dance now. Come on, baby, do.
Number 8. The Loco-Motion. Little Eva.
My little baby says I can do it with me. It's easier than learning.
Now, here's where the debate really begins. Was the Loco-Motion just a dance craze or something more? At the time, it felt like a trend. Another step, another beat, another song tied to a moment. But decades later, it refuses to disappear. Different artists brought it back. New generations rediscovered it. And suddenly, it didn't feel so temporary anymore.
Now that you can do it, let's make a change now. Come on, baby, do.
So what changed? Maybe nothing. Maybe it was always stronger than people gave it credit for. Because underneath the dance, there's something undeniable. Pure joy. The kind that doesn't belong to one year or one generation. And maybe that's why it keeps returning. Not as a memory, but as something that never really left.
I'm feeling blue, so come on, do the locomotion with me. I can see the dancing, the silhouettes on the shade, I hear the music.
Number 7. Let Me In. The Sensations.
I hear the music, let me in.
This one doesn't shout for attention. It pulls you in quietly. Let Me In is softer, more emotional, almost fragile compared to the hits around it. And maybe that's why it gets overlooked. It doesn't demand to be remembered. But if you've ever heard it at the right moment, you didn't forget. Some say it was too gentle for its time, lost between louder, more confident songs. But listen again, and you'll hear something deeper. Vulnerability that wasn't common back then. It didn't need to be big. It just needed to be honest. And maybe that's why it still lingers. Not in charts or headlines, but in the quiet corners of memory where the strongest feelings tend to stay. Number 6. Soldier Boy. The Shirelles. For some people, this song wasn't just music, it was personal. Soldier Boy arrived at a time when distance meant something real. Letters, waiting, uncertainty. It wasn't just a love song, it was a connection. And not everyone today understands that feeling. Some say it's too sentimental, too tied to its era. But for those who lived it, it was real, painfully real. Every note carried something heavier than just melody. And maybe that's why it didn't become just another hit. It became a memory attached to faces, names, moments that mattered. Because songs like this don't belong to history. They belong to people. And once they're part of your life, they never really leave.
You must be for sure that I'll be true to you.
Norman, ooh, Norman.
Number 5. Norman. Sue Thompson.
Jimmy called me on the phone, but I was gone. Not a
This song has always been a little misunderstood. On the surface, Norman feels playful, even lighthearted. But listen closer, and there's something else underneath. A story about choosing differently, about not following expectations. Some people dismissed it as simple. Others saw something bold hiding in plain sight. And that tension? That's what makes it last.
Norman holds me close to him. Norman kisses me.
It wasn't loud or revolutionary, but it quietly challenged the idea of what a hit song could be. And maybe that's why it didn't explode into a bigger career. It didn't fit neatly into a box. But years later, it still sparks that same reaction. A smile, a question, a second listen. Because sometimes the songs people overlook are the ones that stay with you the longest.
Let me tell you about a place somewhere New York way. Oh,
Number 4, Twistin' the Night Away, Sam Cooke.
and man, they have a lot of fun. They're putting trouble on the run.
Now this one feels impossible to forget, and yet somehow people do. Twistin' the Night Away had everything. Rhythm, energy, a voice that could carry an entire room. So why isn't it always at the top of these lists? That's the question. Some say it's because it became too familiar, too woven into the background of its time. But that doesn't make it smaller. It makes it bigger.
They're twisting the night. And let me tell you about it.
It became part of life itself. Parties, dances, nights that blurred into mornings. It wasn't just a song you listened to, it was one you lived through. And maybe that's why it doesn't feel like a one-hit wonder at all. It feels like something that never needed to prove itself.
And man, you ought to see her go. Chick twisting through the rock and roll. Oh,
Don't take your love away from me.
Number 3, breaking up is hard to do. Neil Sedaka.
Remember when you held me tight.
Everyone thinks they know this song, but do they really? Breaking up is hard to do sounds simple, almost cheerful. But that's what makes it deceptive. Underneath that upbeat rhythm is something else entirely. Heartbreak, confusion, the kind of emotion people didn't always talk about openly back then. And maybe that contrast is why it stuck. Or maybe it's why people underestimated it.
They say that breaking up is hard to do.
Some even argue it's been overplayed, that it lost its meaning over time. But listen carefully, and you'll hear it again. That feeling you can't quite shake. Because no matter how much time passes, some truths never change. And this song knew that long before anyone else said it out loud.
Can't we give our love another try? Come on, baby. A long, long time ago.
Number 2, Roses Are Red, My Love, Bobby Vinton.
I sang this way, roses are red, my love.
This is where nostalgia hits the hardest. Roses Are Red isn't just a song, it's a memory trigger. First love, first heartbreak, slow dances that felt like they lasted forever. And yet, some critics have always called it too sentimental, too soft. But maybe they missed the point. Because it wasn't trying to impress anyone, it was trying to connect.
To my name, roses are red, my love.
And it did. Deeply. Instantly. For a lot of people, this wasn't just a song on the radio, it was their song. And that changes everything. Because when music becomes personal, it stops being something you hear and becomes something you carry. And even now, decades later, that feeling is still there, waiting.
Sugar is sweet, my love. Good luck, may God.
Number 1, Telstar, The Tornadoes. And then there's this. Telstar didn't sound like anything else at the time. It wasn't just different, it was almost otherworldly. Inspired by space, technology, a future people were only beginning to imagine. Some listeners loved it instantly. Others didn't know what to make of it. But no one ignored it. And that's what set it apart. It captured a moment when everything felt like it was about to change. And in many ways, it did. This wasn't just a hit song. It was a signal, a glimpse of something beyond the familiar. And maybe that's why it still feels powerful today, because it reminds us of a time when the future felt wide open and anything seemed possible.
I will never make you blue.
And man, to have a lot of fun, that wouldn't trouble on the run. Hey, play another song like a runner on Sue. Whoa, let's do a dance that we all can do.
And now that you've heard them again, here's the question most people don't ask. Did these songs really disappear? Or did we just stop paying attention? Because the truth is, one-hit wonders were never just about charts or fame. They were about moments. Your moments. A drive you still remember, a face you haven't seen in years, a feeling that somehow never faded. And maybe that's why people still argue about them, which ones mattered and which ones didn't. So I'm curious, which of these songs did you actually remember, and which ones surprised you the most? Some people say one-hit wonders were just lucky accidents. Others believe they left a bigger mark than we realize. But maybe the real answer is simpler than that. Maybe it only takes one song to stay with you forever.